Hello everybody, Ghostblade1062 here with another rolling stock review. Today we will be looking at one of the two new sets of the Sudexpress Tanpps hopper cars in the Wascosa K+S paint scheme that I had pre-ordered. And now let's move on to the unboxing. Alright, taking a look at the front of the box, we have the car typing, the Tanpps right across the top here. These cars are in the K+S Wascosa scheme, and then we have a drawing of the three cars on the front as well, with the Sudexpress logo in the bottom left here. On the sides, we have the line drawing of the cars with some basic contact information and Sudexpress's website. The back of the box is a blank white, but then on the top of the box we have a little bit of product information. So starting at the top right here, we have the product ID, which is S659001, and then we have the product barcode. This is a three-piece set of Wascosa Tanpps hopper cars. And then we have a picture of the three cars as well as their road numbers. So we do have three different road numbers in this box. And also included in the box we have this exploded diagram, which does also come with instructions on how to install a couple of separately fitted parts, including brake lines and coupling hooks. And now, removing the top layer of foam, we get access to the three clamshells that the three individual cars are sitting in. Starting with the first one here. And we do have this little baggie included with each car that has our separately fitted pieces. However, I will not be attaching them at this point in time. Otherwise, the video would take a very long time to complete. But taking off the soft plastic protection, here we have the first car. And taking a closer look, most of those parts in the baggie are actually just replacements rather than needing to be separately fitted. But that is car number one. Car number two. And finally, car number three. And that is all three cars taken out of the packaging. So what we will do next is move on to the detail overview section of the video. Alright, time to take a closer look at these hoppers. Starting on the head end of our first one, we have these two yellow painted separately fitted grab irons underneath the buffers, which are solid in place. We also have this handrail going up on the side here with a step beneath, allowing you to step up onto the buffer beam. And we also have our chute release controls here. And these are for the top chute, which does in fact open. We also have our support detailing here, as well as our mechanism detailing for opening and closing the roof of the car. Now, moving onto the side, right above the truck here, we have this hook for re-railing the car. And the truck has some nice suspension detailing to it, as well as some brake detailing. We also have our capacity information here, followed by our road number and reporting marks. The road number for this car being 3385 0659 001-1, and it is a Tanpps type 4-bay hopper car. Then moving along the side here, we have various warning labels, as well as we have our releases for the individual chutes, including our wheels for opening and closing the bottom chutes. On the side here, we also have the K+S logo, as well as the Wascosa logo. Now moving on to the rear end of the car, we again have these grab irons under the buffer, and our steps on either side going up onto the walkway platform here, which has plastic separately fitted and edged plastic for the walkway. We have our separately fitted plastic grab handrails here, as well as a ladder going up to the roof of the car. And we have our separately fitted brake wheel here as well. And again, our levers for opening and closing the roof hatch. On the top of the car, we have our separately fitted roof hatch, as well as this line that represents the mechanism for opening and closing the car, which would normally move with the roof. And opening it up, we can see that we have a load of potash in the car. So these cars do in fact come loaded, which is nice. And now, looking at the underside of the car, we see our NEM shafts at either end, past the trucks, and we have our rotating chutes on either side. These are set up in such a way that they could rotate to match the output for the car. And we also see the lines connecting the wheels that are used to turn these chutes. And that is the first car. The second car is road number 33850659-137-3, and aside from that, we have all the same detailing, including the potash load inside. And then finally, we have car 33850659-000-3. And again, loaded with potash. And all the same detailing, with the only difference being the road number. All in all, very nicely detailed. They have a decent amount of weight to them. Metal axles, which is good. And next, we will move on to the rip track segment of the video. Alright, time for the rip track segment of the video. Here, we will start off with verifying the wheel gauge of all three cars, followed by installing couplers and then verifying the coupler height. Starting with car 137-3, the lead truck, axle 1 is good, and axle 2 is good. Now for the rear truck, axle 1 is good, and so is axle 2. Now for car 001-1, rear truck axle 1 is good, axle 2 is good, front truck axle 1 is good, axle 2 is good. And onto the last car, this is 000-3, front track axle 1 is good, axle 2 is good, rear truck axle 1 is good, and axle 2 is good. So all of our axles are properly engaged. So now I will move on to installing couplers, and I will not be using the K+S that I usually use. Instead, I'm going to try these Eve model couplers that I had ordered off of AliExpress. I had them recommended to me by a trusted source, so I'm going to see how well they work out in comparison to the K+S couplers that I usually use. As for the same price as a pack of K+S couplers, with these ones I'm getting 3 times the amount of couplers. So if they prove to be as good as I've been told, then they will make for a far more cost-effective replacement. Starting with car 001-1. That is the first coupler in, and these are metal knuckle couplers as well. And coupler 2 is in. Car 137-3. Coupler 1. And coupler 2. And now onto the last car, this being 000-3, coupler 1, and coupler 2. Now let's check the height of these. Right, this is the front coupler of car 00-3, and we are sitting a touch low. I will have to adjust the coupler drawbar there as well, as it is catching on the height gauge, which when it pushes up, it actually makes the coupler level. Now for the rear coupler, same thing. So on this car, this is 000-3. I will have to adjust the trip pins. Now on to car 001-1. And again, the trip pin is catching. But actually, this car is at proper height. My height gauge was actually not sitting flat on the track for that one. Now for the rear coupler, which is sitting high. And finally, the last car. This is 137-3. The front coupler is at proper height. As is the rear coupler. So we have one car that is sitting low and the across both couplers, and then we have one coupler that is sitting high. I will be making adjustments to the coupler trip pins on the low sitting one as well, and then we will move on to some run-by video of the cars. Alright everybody, this concludes my review of the new Sudexpress K+S Tanpps Potash Hoppers in the K+S Wascosa scheme. Very detailed cars. The amount of separate pieces that are applied is absolutely incredible. The issue that I initially had with the low couplers actually righted itself when I adjusted the coupler trip pins on the one car. So all in all, it ended up just being the one coupler that is sitting high, which isn't too big of a deal as it's not sitting overly high for level track. It may become a problem on areas where there is a height difference, but aside from that, the cars run smoothly. The wheels were all engaged. There was no issues with overspray. All in all, a very beautiful addition to the collection, and one that I would highly recommend for anyone working with modern era European. That being said, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like or a comment, and subscribe for more model railroad content. Have a great day, everybody!